All right, everybody. Hopefully you took a break after that last video. It's very, like I mentioned, very tedious process and kind of boring, but you really need to go through each one of those listings and confirm if it is good data or bad data, whatever that may be. And this next part is honestly one of my most favorite parts. It's kind of like it's an art. You are using your creativity, you're using your imagination, you're trying to understand things that are not written on the wall, right? You're literally like, we're going to be going into each one of these listings and trying to figure out why they're performing better. What is the reason that these guys are performing the way that they're performing? And when I'm going through this, we're going to kind of create a checklist. So I want you to take notes. If I mention something like, oh, look at this or look at that, take a note of it. Now, I'm also going to go through the video. I'm going to make a little checklist for this as well for you. But I want you to be taking notes as you're going through this because this part is crucially important. We are going to be trying to understand what are the attributes of a specific home that allows it to perform at a certain level, okay? Because the homes here that are in this top tier are doing something right, and they're all doing that same thing, and we want to figure out exactly what it is because we're going to do that. So if you are going to be going out and buying a property, renting a property, managing somebody else's property, whatever the hell it may be, you need to know what you're looking for and what your home needs to have to be able to perform at the level it needs to perform at, okay? That's very, very important because it's going to allow you to just very simply go into a location and decide if you're going to get it or not, right? Two of my favorite stories is one, my highest performing home that I ever got, I closed the entire deal in 45 minutes. So from the moment that I met the landlord to the moment that I had the lease for that home was 45 minutes. Gave him $3,300 all within that time period because I knew how profitable that home was. I knew how great it was. I knew how the location was going to be great. And that home made me about $40,000 a year. And so I'm telling you this to say that when you're able to go through this data, you're able to understand it, you're able to see everything that you need to see, and you know what to look for. When you're actually going out there and talking to the landlords and talking to people and trying to, buy a home, you're going to know exactly what to look for. And that's what I want you to feel. I want you to be able to do the same thing of going into a place and closing the deal in 45 minutes and it making you $40,000 a year, right? That's just amazing. It's such a great thing to have happen, right? Now, another great thing to have happen is to go into a listing, and I went into a listing. Sorry, the good thing is to go into a listing and to say no to it, which will save you a whole bunch of money because you know it wouldn't be profitable. So I went into another listing that was very similar to the one that made me $40,000 a year. It was in the exact same location, same number of bedrooms and bathrooms as well. However, there was no dining room. So the way that the layout of this home worked, there was one room that was just absolutely massive that was kind of in the lower unit. And then in the common area, there was no dining room, and there was a very small kitchen, a very small living room, and it was designed for students. That's why it was laid out that way. But I know that I'm renting out to Airbnbs, and I'm renting out to groups of people that are friends and family, and they're all traveling together, and they actually want to hang out in that common area, right? And so because that area wasn't there, I knew that the home actually wasn't going to perform nearly as well as the other one, simply because I knew all the data, right? And I knew what to look out for. Knew what I needed in the home to actually perform well. So in this example, the top half was the first home, right? I saw the attributes that were performing well in the top half, right, doing better than the average. And then the second home was I saw the attributes of these types of homes in that second story that I told you about, and so I knew to avoid it, right? And that's what you're going to get out of this, and what you're going to be able to figure out. So I'm actually going to jump to the next video where we're actually going to be going through each one of these listings one by one and trying to figure out what it is that they're doing properly. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video and talk to you then.